This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great having you join me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 43 in this mini course that's all about flat picking. We're really getting into these lessons. In this lesson, we're going to build on what we did in the last couple lessons. So in the last couple of lessons, we went over the G major pentatonic scale. That's the regular one, and then we also did an extension. And sort of some alternate fingerings, because doing it that way gives us just 2 extra notes, but we also have some alternate fingerings. So we did that and how to improvise little melodic fills with that scale. In this lesson, we're going to add in the blues scale. The G major blues scale. So what this major blues scale does is it throws in a chromatic note between steps 2 and 3. So the regular G major pentatonic, if we were to compare that to a G major scale, it has the root, or step 1, step 2, step 3, step 5, and step 6. No step 4 and no step 7. So in this major blues sound, we're adding a chromatic note between steps 2 and 3. So that makes it so that we have a little bit of a bluesy flavor, because we're going to have the sharp 2 or flat 3 sound thrown in there. So we have the G, A sharp or B flat up to B. So you get that little sharp 2 flat 3, and that gives it a little bit of a bluesy flavor. So, down in the description below, there's a link. You can download a free copy of the sheet music, Flatpicking Fun, number 10, that goes with this lesson. We're going to work on this scale, and I have some little melodic fills, little lick ideas that you can borrow and learn from. And also, we'll talk about improvising a little bit with this scale, so you can continue to work on the melodic side, the improv side of flat picking, which is going to be great. So you're going to want to download that sheet music. We're going to go ahead, right at the top of that sheet music, we've got this scale written out. With the extension, actually, and the alternate fingerings all shown at once. So in the tablature, you'll see where there's 2 notes happening at once. Those are just unisons, showing you 2 different ways you could finger that, and we'll kind of go through that. So if we were just to play the first octave, though, we've got that low 3rd fret on the 6th string. That's our G. Then the open A. Then we get the 1st fret on that A string, or that 5th string, 2nd fret. So, and then we got the open 4th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string. And then you have 2 options. We can go up to the open G, which is what we usually do, but occasionally you might find yourself reaching to that 5th fret on the 4th string for that G. That's one way. You can grab index on the 2nd fret, pinky on that 5th fret, all on the 4th string, or up to the open string, which is probably usually what we use, but there's times where we want to slide into that note, and we got to have it at that 5th string, on that 5th fret, sorry, of the 4th string. So as you continue, we've got a couple different options. Let's take the open string options the first time, and then we'll look at the alternate ways. So you got 3. You're going to notice this just adds 1 note to the game from what we were doing before. 3rd fret. That's how that scale sounds. So do it again, and you can try to follow along. I'm going to use the open strings everywhere I have that option, which is going to be on the higher string, and we'll worry about the alternate fingerings here in a second. So we have 3, open, 1, 2, open, 2, open, 2, 3, open, 3, open, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 3, open, 3, open, 3, 2, open, 2, open, 2, 1, open, 3, open, 3. So that's our blues scale, our major blues scale. We've added in that flat 3 in between steps 2 and 3 everywhere we possibly can. Now with the alternate fingerings, I already mentioned the one where we can use our pinky on that 4th string at the 5th fret instead of the open 3rd string. So that's one option there. Most of the ones that we end up using are on the higher strings. So if we have our index finger, if we use the open third string, we have our index finger at the 2nd fret of that 3rd string, and I can grab with my ring finger the 3rd fret, or the 4th fret, sorry, instead of the open 2nd string. So as I come across, I'm going to have that alternate fingering there. So open 1, 2, 3 with my index at the 2nd fret, then 3rd fret, then 4th fret. So then I shift up a fret and I can put my index finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and my ring finger on the 5th fret instead of the open top string. So I'm on that 2nd string, and then I've got my index, and then I have to choose where to slide, but for now I'm going to have my index of the 3rd fret, then my index of the 5th, 6th with the middle, 7th. There. But again, from that open string, open 3rd string, we go open, and then my index finger at the 2nd fret, my middle at the 3rd, my ring finger at the 4th, then to the next string at the 3rd fret with the index, ring at the 5th, index at the 3rd on the next, index at the 5th, middle 6th. So those are the different fingerings, and those are the different notes that bring in this blues scale. You can get used to playing it just up and down multiple ways. You can even go where you start getting into little scale patterns, maybe working in 3s. Just to kind of find ways to get your fingers used to the scale. But first starting by running it from the low note all the way to the high, descending back down to the low. And in this case we have that low E that sits below the G. And then you can also practice it coming down from the top all the way to the bottom and going back up to the top. Just different ways to trick yourself. You can start on the different root notes. So we have the low G, we have the middle G, we have the higher G, so you can start the scale from different places. And then yeah, you can start adding in little scale patterns where you do notes in groups of 3 or 4 or so on. That can help you get the scale down. But what I have written here that really helps as we're learning to improvise and use these ideas, because when we suddenly have a scale, it can be a little overwhelming with all the notes that we have. So what I have here, like I've done in the last couple of lessons, is we've got some little licks or some little melodic ideas alternating with the chords, the strumming of the chords. So this is something that sometimes happens when we're throwing in melodic fills, and that's what we're working on now. We're going to continue to work on melodic fills this lesson and next lesson, and then we'll actually do a full-on solo to a song in the key of G in the lesson after that. So lots of fun with this, and this leads us up to being able to just play a full-on solo. So we'll start off. I'm going to walk us through these different lick ideas. You can work them all individually and just repeat them over and over until you feel comfortable with each one. It sort of helps your fingers get the melodic ideas, which can then help you create your own melodic ideas. So this first one, that's how that goes. The chords, by the way, they're all the same. We're doing this little, you could do whatever kind of chord you want, whatever kind of alternate plucking, bass note, strumming that you want with the 2 bars of G. But I've written out one there that's going to alternate between the 6th string on the root, then it goes up to the 3rd on the 5th string, up to the 5th, back to the 3rd, so down, up. So that's what I've got written here. For previous lessons, you know you could do a little hammer on. And if you wanted to on that next string, instead of doing the open D, take that D up to the E. You can do that if you want, but I've just got written where we're just going root through 5, right? 3, 5, 3, or 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, out of the chord. So that's how that'll be if we're alternating. But don't worry about the licks before we worry about that. So that first one. So this comes right out of that blues scale. You can work that as many times as you need to. I'll play it a little bit faster, because it helps to hear it fast. Now if we go back and forth with that one, it would sound nice and slow like this. We'd have times you need to, we can take it a little bit faster. It'd sound like. And of course, you could do it super fast. I'm going to demonstrate it, but it really, you don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to show you how kind of how that sounds done really fast, which flat pickers can play super fast. But you don't need to worry about getting these fast. Just get them to where you're feeling comfortable and having fun, and then gradually over time you can speed up the tempo. I can play things way faster when I'm just playing than I can when I'm trying to read too. So as you're working on reading these and you're starting to memorize and get the ideas in, it can be a little harder to play faster until they're really just memorized and you're just kind of going at it in your own way. Alright, so we'll look at the next one. Now this next one has a pull-off in it, and any of these that have pull-offs, hammer-on, slides, you can do them without. You can always pluck the notes. You don't have to use slurs, and then we can throw in these slurs. So this one without the pull-off sounds like. And then I could throw in that slur. That one sounds. I'll do it a little bit slower. So 1 and 2 and ready and go and. You kind of pick with this one when you want to sort of shift up. I find with this fingering, as is shown with the tablature, that with that open string, if I switch when I grab the second fret with my index finger, and then I can work in second position, and then when I get to the second string I just shift up one more fret and work in third position. Keeps me using mostly index, middle, and ring, and in this case always index, middle, and ring, not having to bring out that pinky for these ones. So I'll play it again, this time adding the chords in, so you can have 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Speed it up a little bit. I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. And I'll hold it there a little bit. And I'm speeding it up again here. Play that one back and forth as many times as you need to get that idea down. Another great idea. If we look at the third one, so this one's done with the open strings all in that normal open position. Don't have to slide to second position or third position. So you've just got 3 open, 3 open. That's how that goes there. Continues down. So take it nice and slow with the chords in. We have 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Let's speed it up a little bit here with the chords. That one sounds. If I were to do that without speeding up each time to demonstrate it, just go to nice even tempo here a couple times. 1, 2, I want to ready and. sometimes you need to at the various tempos that you feel comfortable at, just building it up to get a little bit faster, a little more fluid. Okay, we'll go over and look at the ones on the next page. So the one at the top of the page, this one sounds like... Now with this one, I use a little bit of a finger roll between the second fret on the third string to the second fret on the fourth string to the open. So I'll talk you through that when we get there. So we have this 1, 2, open, 1, 2, open, 2, open, 2, 3, 2. Right there when I grab that 2, I'm laying my middle finger flat, so I can roll to the second fret on the fourth string and then pitch that open. So instead of having to pick my finger up, the other option would be to like use my index finger instead. That'd be a faster way, but to pick up the finger that's on the third string and then move it to the fourth string is going to take more time. So I use the rolling technique, or I can use two different fingers. In this case, I just use the rolling technique. I do that a ton with jazz, so I find myself doing it here with bluegrass as well. So this one at a nice slow tempo sounds like 1 and 2 and ready and go and... I'm going to speed it up a little bit with the chords. Speed it up again. Speed it up one more time. Not sure that one came out quite as clean as I wanted. Sometimes the more we get playing, it gets just a little bit sloppy. It was probably okay, but I didn't think it felt that clean, so I did it again. Okay, so if I do it at a nice medium tempo, stay the same tempo through the whole thing, we'd have 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Practice that as many times as you want. Also mention sometimes it's fun to do a hammer on between that first fret and that second fret, or even you can do a hammer on from frets 2 to 3 on that third string. So you can find places where you want to slur. You can slur more often if you want to than what's written in. You can always do that. On the next one, you can throw in a pull off, so you can throw those in as you want to. I've written in some as suggestions, but not all of them, and you can certainly adapt these and play these with more slurs when there aren't as many, or less slurs when there's a bunch. So you get to kind of do it your way. That's what's partially fun about this music. There's principles that sort of govern the language, and we kind of get them under our fingers as we learn different melodic ideas, and then we just get to go at it and have fun. I love this. So the next one sounds like this. So this is the second one on that second page. So again. And with that one, I'm again using the open G string to give my hand time to position into second position. To get into second position, so I can use index, middle, ring, and then I'm up to third position as I go into that second string. And I'm using my pinky. You could slide in from 5th to 6th fret if you wanted to, but I'm just using my pinky to grab it and then my index finger on the G chord. So do this one at different tempos, slightly speeding up a little bit. So 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Speed the chords up a little bit. Speed them up again. Speed it up again. It's fun to try and play that fast. and play it clean. That's pretty tricky. Okay, I'll do it at a sort of a medium tempo, repeating it without speeding up so you can hear it at the different tempos. So we got 1 and 2 and ready and go and. And you can do that as many times as you want. Let's look at the third one. So the third one actually brings us all the way up to that 7th fret, 6, 5. I'm sliding with my index finger from frets 5 to 3 when that's there. And then I'm doing that roll trick again in that second measure. With my index finger this time, 3rd fret to 3rd fret, top string to 2nd string. I have the G chord, so nice and slow. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Okay, and at a medium tempo, just staying true as I go back and forth between the chords, we have 1 and 2 and ready and go and. You can do that as many times as you need to. Let's look at the fourth one on that page. So one more. We've got this. We have a quarter note. We've done a ton of stuff with eighth notes, but we have this quarter note there. And then a slide to another quarter note from the 3rd to the 4th frets. And I'm just catching that with my ring finger. So, and then I stay in second position personally and use my index to do the 2 open and then 2 open. So. That's how that sounds. If we go back and forth with the chords, starting off nice and slow, I'd have 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Up a little. Speed it up a little again. One more time. Of course, you can work it at all the different tempos. I'll just take it at a medium tempo here, keeping it at the same tempo. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Now, of course, you get the last line there that has the slashes, which is basically you can improvise your own, suggesting that you target that G and then strumming the chord. Now, of course, you wouldn't have to end each line that way, but it's okay to sort of target it as you're getting going with fills like this. So you can just improvise your own and play it over and over. I'll go ahead and play this as if it's one continual thing. So start on the first one, play all the way through. You can play along with me. Try and do this at a not too fast, not too slow tempo. So we'll go about there. So 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a ready, and you can make up your own and just have as much fun with it as you can. Alright, so that wraps us up for this lesson. Super fun. I hope you're having fun with this. I love improvising in this style and other styles, and I just love the feel of the flat picking, the bluegrass, and all this great music. So in the next lesson, we're going to build on this by adding in some other chromatic notes. So we've added in that flatted third up to that natural third, or the flatted third down to the second, but in between steps 2 and 3 we've added that chromatic tone. It's a key one, but we'll look at adding some other chromatic ideas into our lines as well. So that's what we'll be doing in the next lesson. Keep having fun, take care, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.